Welcome back to the Tech Show. October was National Disability Awareness Month, but companies like Google push all year round to make their platforms as accessible as possible. More than 15% of the world's population has a disability, and that number does not include people who are less able due to age or people with short-term injuries. Kyndra LoCoco from Google's Central Accessibility team is here today to tell us how we can all help make the world more accessible by paying attention. Hello, Kyndra. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Accessibility is something that I'm incredibly passionate about both personally and professionally, so I'm very excited to be here.
Why is accessibility important to include when developing new technologies?
You know, accessibility is really just about building a better product and a product that can benefit everyone and not just people with disabilities. And for example, if you're in a conference or maybe a meeting and you're stuck way in the back and you hear someone on their phone or maybe someone's coming in and out of the door and it can be very noisy, it can be difficult to hear what the speaker is saying. So we wanted to improve that experience for everyone. And we launched live automated captions directly within Google Slides. So now as the speaker is talking, captions will actually display directly for the audience to follow along with what the speaker is saying.
How do developers at Google make sure that their tools can be used by as many people as possible?
You know, we work a lot with the community. We also work with universities, organizations, and we also go into the field and really talk to our users and really understand some of the barriers that they're facing and ways we can help them. And for example, you know, just a few years ago, we were in Jakarta, Indonesia, and we spent 10 days there just literally walking and going on buses and going to malls and just understanding what it is to be like in the day-to-day life. And one person in particular really stood out for us, and this user was blind himself, and he had to ask a lot of people around him how to get around, and that was something that we took back to the team, and I can absolutely get into some of the areas that we talked about and that we actually ended up launching.
Is voice activation one of the ways that new products can be used by more people?
Absolutely. In fact, a really exciting app that we just launched is called Voice Access. For someone who might not be able to touch a target or touch a button, this can actually be quite challenging. So now, using Voice Access, just with your voice, you can send an email, you can compose a text, and you can take our beloved selfies.
What is some of the future tech Google is working on for people who have disabilities or just need a little help?
Absolutely. One thing that we're really excited that we announced earlier this year, and it's coming soon, is called Lookout. So Lookout is catered specifically if you are one of the 250 million people in the world who are blind or low vision. Lookout is the first app that you would wear around your neck, either on a lanyard or maybe in a t-shirt pocket. And as you're walking around, it'll give you auditory cues about what is in your surroundings, and it can actually help you navigate the physical world, which is a really exciting, hard problem to solve. And let's say you're at work, and it'll tell you a printer is at 12 o'clock, or maybe scissors are at 3 o'clock. But maybe you want to just know what the expiration date is on your milk. You can actually use Lookout to give you that expiration date.
You have some products right now that make life easier, right? Can you tell us about them?
Well, I think Google Maps is one that a lot of people use to get from A to B, but recently we actually added in accessible information directly within business information. So let's say you are using a wheelchair. It can be quite difficult to know any new location that may or may not have an accessible entrance or accessible parking. So now you can actually go into a business right within Google Maps in the more information and see whether or not they have these accommodations. And this was really exciting. I think this goes well with Lookout, another way that we are just starting to map the physical world, especially from an accessibility standpoint. And I think I'll give you another example here, because Google Home is also, I think, a really big fan favorite. And this is a product that I know I use, whether it be from listening to music or adjusting my thermostat or, you know, giving me the next step in my recipe as I'm up in my elbows in chicken. But it's also really great for people like my mom, who is a wheelchair user herself, and she had a recent unfortunate fall and she wasn't near her phone and my dad wasn't home, but she was actually able to use Google Home to call him, and he was able to come home right away and help her, and everything was fine. But I think that was just a really great reminder that it's products like Google Home that just have so many different use cases for such a wide range of people.
Where can we learn more about all this great gear?
A really great place to learn about everything is right on our website, just google.com/accessibility. And I'll leave you with maybe a fun update that's coming out just today, and that's on Gboard. And you know, American Sign Language is such an expressive language, and it's, you know, I've actually been learning ASL for 2 years now. And this is something I'm excited about. YouTube creator Jessica Flores, who is deaf herself, worked with our Gboard team to actually come up with 24 different stickers, or more commonly known as emojis, that really have some of the top 24 ASL signs. So I think this is an exciting way to not only express yourself, but also just to learn some top ASL signs that are used. And I'll teach you one really quick. It's just love, kiss the back of your hand, and you know, the world can always use a little more love.
Thanks so much for talking with us today, Kyndra.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Up next, hold on to your wallets. It's time for Take My Money. The Tech Show will be right back.